Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Songs of Conquest, where today it seems like we have a lot of various types of spooky undead ahead of us. I'm excited. I'm excited to get into the more like weird and supernatural aspects of this world. That said, we might need to back off a little bit before we do, because our army is looking pretty fucked up. Let's grab the amber and the stone that are over here. We'll turn on this watchtower. Oh, hey, those are buildings that are approximately our color. At the very least, they could become our buildings, but we are way off of, well, actually, I guess as the crow flies, we're not that far away from town. It's just, it would be a long walk back to the rally point. Let's step over here. Let's see if we can get a read on threat level worthy. Yeah, I don't care for that. I think we're gonna step back here. All right. What about our other army? Already don't remember this character's name. I apologize, by the way, for the sort of like the slower pace of these episodes. I wanted to be releasing things a little bit more regularly, but oh boy. I've been having some health issues lately and stuff. Things have been complicated. All right, so obviously we want to draft troops. So if you interact with the settlement building, you can draft troops from any building in the settlement. That's good to know. I don't think that is a thing that I knew before. Obviously we can fill up this slot. We can nearly fill that one. And then we have an empty space here, and the question is, like, what do we want to do with this army, and what do we want to leave for Cecilia? I think I want more ranged in this army. I know Cecilia benefits significantly from a lot of range too, but she currently, like, it's definitely worth it to save up footmen, because Cecilia currently has no melee. She has no blockers of any type. And yeah, unfortunately, we're just gonna be short people, I think. So we know these legionnaires are pretty badass. Yeah, this is a scary situation. I noticed that the blacksmith is not showing as visited anymore. Let's go see what that's about. The Tender Wild suddenly grew quiet and cold. Every wielder could sense it. Something had risen. Okay. Well, that's a problem we're going to have to deal with, for sure. Hit the milestone for the extra movement. That'll get us, yeah, basically all the way back home. Next turn, we can hit the rally point. Okay, an extra crossbow I don't think is all that interesting, because yeah, our current combination is 15 ranged offense and 5 melee offense. Notice some of this stuff up here has become unvisited again. The buffs have refreshed, but I don't know that we need to walk all the way up there for those. We're just going to continue trying to refill here. The question is, how much time do I want to spend, like, I have no idea if we are under time pressure at all. It would be, you know, it would be nice to stand here for like 5 turns and just get to a full stack of archers. We certainly would have a much better chance of surviving the things ahead. But it may be unsafe to do that, potentially. Something's risen in the wood, etc., you know. All right, we can't get this any bigger. It's at its maximum size. We really do need that. This other settlement can get up to level 3 at least. We just have to make it. All right, so unfortunately, that's all we really got. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they both kind of need troops at the same moment. I think I will hang out one more turn. Okay, we have incoming. Meroth. Oh. Oh, like potentially problematic. I see. Let's hire y'all on. I said one more turn because I was like, well, we can fill up this slot and then get moving again. Do we need to? We can place a wielder inside the building to strengthen its defenses. I mean, do we need to fight Meroth or should we be running is the question. A whisper of blessed bones, a rumble of legionnaires. I mean, this seems like a lot of stuff. It seems very challenging to survive. And there's something moving around in the forest as well. It may be the case that we are intended to lose this as part of the scenario, and we're supposed to just run forward and grab the other settlement, you know? I'm going to have Paradine move down here. I want to try to get vision of whatever it was that was moving around in the forest, although it looks like we're not really... Yeah, we're not seeing anything. Let's open the marketplace. We haven't actually looked at it yet. Okay, so it lets us sell and buy these things. None of which we actually need at the moment, but I wanted to get like a handle on the interface, what you can and cannot buy at a marketplace, etc. Now that we've seen it, we know. Because we can't upgrade any of our buildings here anyway. Oh, you have to have a lumber mill to upgrade the barracks. Okay. Well, we could certainly... Oh, I forgot we could upgrade this. Yeah. Well, sappers are cool. Yeah, having the higher tier troops would probably have been helpful. So I guess I'm going to hang out for a second. We're going to see what it is exactly that Meroth does. Okay, so he's converting our small settlement. If I run in there, I will have to fight him. The town will be converted in one round, and he is understood as challenging for Paradine. With the town converting, we don't have any more unit income, so we may as well have her hit the milestone, head up here, try to deal with these specters and skeletons, and thus gain access to the town beyond. And I think you're just gonna go back there and see what we can do about it. A huge being in the ancient armor of the Aurelian Empire led an army unlike anything ever seen before in Arleon. Even the birds grew quiet as he approached Paradine. Bound by oath, bound to her. You've been hearing a lot of that lately. An undead wielder. Well, maybe I'll get some answers. Greetings, wielder. How are you? I mean, how did you come to be like this? Bound by oath, bound to conquer. Okay. Well, I can't allow that, but maybe we could start with your name. I'm Paradine. What are you called? Are there any more like you? There is no other like me. I burned the tree mothers. I killed the dragons. I conquered Patriam. You are nothing. Okay. That's not great. I don't like how we are nothing. Also, I'm a little worried about what seems to be a healthy amount of essence income I mean, he has a real army, right? Of course. Does challenging mean... Can I... I do wish I had a scale of these and like what exactly they mean. I'm assuming challenging means he is above... It means we are forecast to lose the battle, right? I think we probably have to put down in such a way that we're defending our ranged troops, right? I'm a little worried with our footmen starting on that northern tile that they'd be able to just run right in and massacre my archers, especially if they're, you know, basically cavalry. And they went ahead and just did it anyway because they're not afraid of our opportunity attacks. Okay, that was something really interesting that I was curious about before. Now we know. Retaliations and attacks of opportunity are different resources. 15 damage and minus 20 initiative. It doesn't actually change their spot in the initiative order, which sucks. I guess let's just hold on to the essence then. You would not kill them both. Infinite retaliations. That's pretty cool. Jeez, we can't get meaningful kills on any of them. All right, well, these guys probably won't do too much counter damage because there's so few of them alive. Can't attack anybody except the ranged adjacent, or except the adjacent enemy. Let's do that. That'll crack you down to 1, and then unfortunately this archer does not have the juice to kill you from there. Right, I'm gonna back up and eat the opportunity attack. I was kind of hoping it would give me enough damage to finish him off, but no such luck. And infinite retaliations. Aha, but not infinite attacks of opportunity. So this is like absolutely horrifying. The amount of damage we are seeing here. We got one of them. Yeah, okay, challenging. This is what is meant by challenging. Would you believe insect swarm? Get 'em. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely a scripted loss. There is no version of your army that is beating that army. He took all my stuff. All right, Cecilia, it's time to go capture some buildings because otherwise we don't get to have buildings. And I think buildings are pretty important. Over here we see more of those skeleton mount things, so really can't be going that way. Okay, this is a threat level of risky. But I'm sure we can manage with some clever maneuvering here. The skeletons themselves are not super dangerous. These things are fast as hell. Alright, I'm just going to position you for maximum be in the way, and good luck to you, friend. Okay, we are getting some meaningful damage off. Deadly range is 4. Alright, so moving forward to get deadly range is worthwhile. If I move to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, this is high ground and deadly range. We should definitely take that. And you can't get close enough. But you could, like... Yeah, I guess I'm going to challenge these guys. 4 to 8. This is pretty rough no matter what. Alright, the skeleton's going first on the next round. So let's nuke their damage and then we'll focus up here. We probably don't want to fire off Fury, right? Well, plus 50 melee offense, so it would probably at least like double his damage output. He probably does actually. He might. I know this is risky, but we might stand a chance of actually killing some of their stacks off if we do it, and that's something. Because we also have to survive is the thing. Minus 50 defense is a pretty big deal. We're going to eat a retaliation here, and then this thing's going to get its turn. The other one's getting a turn shortly after. I guess the thing is, if I went for the Fury and it didn't kill this dude, we would be in so deep. And if we're assuming that it's going to make that kill value, say 2 to 6, there's a reasonable chance we don't finish off the stack, right? I think I'm just going to lay some protection on, and when we'll go. The thing is, I could Fury on top of that. You know what? At that point, he's got, the ability to potentially withstand some stuff. Didn't get the kill. Well, I can finish off the Spectre at least with a melee attack there. And you have now run directly into melee range, which I appreciate because I needed that. Okay, after this turn, we're going to see those guys act. Kind of want to just do some damage, right? Just try to make it more likely that we'll actually finish the stack off. All right, you get a decent ranged attack. It's ugly. We lost units. We lost important units, but it's something, and we might hopefully still be able to take the settlement. If we can't take the settlement, I'm pretty sure we're done. So let's hope so. The road is, of course, guarded. Yep, and that's an unkillable number of troops, actually. I think I might need to redo this scenario with more effective building upgrades. Okay, yeah, he's going to run around and claim all the outbuildings now. That makes sense. Some gauntlets. Yeah, I'll take that over my money-making gloves. That seems fine. The former settlement of Thistledown was in ruins. Somber, stout-heart troops surveyed the field. There were no survivors, but plenty of fallen. Fae, humans, and undead soldiers. Stout-heart forces, remember this. Remember Thistledown. This is why we fight. We stand for the fallen. Stoutheart will stand. Okay, so there's some cheering. Not a lot of joining my army, which is what I would really love. But when I interact with these buildings, maybe we'll get the survivors. Nope, no survivors remain. This structure has been destroyed. Well, the funny thing is that doesn't mark it as visited. Yeah. I was really hoping we were going to pick up some units there. Okay, 3 defense to the army. Let's go try to hit the old camp. Again, no survivors. We can certainly afford to donate some money to the Fae offering tree. Stats are going to be important. Well, okay, all right. Listen, they're technically troops. At this point, we have no choice but to make the move, I think. And if we lose this battle, then, like I said, what I will do is probably start the scenario over and replay it up to this point, but pursuing troop upgrade buildings more aggressively. And I'll just bring y'all back in once I have that set up. Alright, so the Legionnaires are a problem, the Spectres are a problem, these normal skeleton troops not so much. Alright, right now we can, if we're smart, we can just gang up on them. Part of me kind of wants to just have you do nothing this turn. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Let's fuck up their damage. Let everything else move in. Let's boil their blood as well. They might not even have any, but let's do that. Give you protection. And... oh, I didn't realize they weren't going to be able to move through their own allies. I wasn't prepared for them to wall themselves off like that. Well then let's damage one of these groups as much as possible. I'm gonna keep stacking damage and debuffs and stuff on these guys. And 3 to 5, so you're not killing anybody. Pacify those ones, and let's try to maximize damage here. All right, we can be rid of one enemy. Probably what I want to do is onslaught the militia, right? So that'll cost us 6 and 6. That does leave room for another protection, and it is stacking. And then you're not going to kill anybody, but you can eat their retaliation at least. And then, like I said, let's onslaught you. Okay, we're gonna get that kill. Let's debuff this guy. All right, and then with my ranged attack, we can get a bunch of damage in on the Legionnaires. This is going better than I thought it was going to. I was really afraid we were gonna lose everybody immediately. So the pacify lasts for a single troop turn. There's no sense in recasting it on that enemy. I guess we just hold it, and for the moment, continue to just buff the hell out of our defenses. It doesn't say how many times it will stack. Does it go to 3? It goes to 4. Okay, yeah, let's... Wow, enemies really don't like the minstrels, and I don't know why, because they are not a threat to anybody, realistically. You know what? I'm just gonna play the song. Hell yeah. Yeah, they're just super focused. Ah, it's a shame. May as well onslaught you. You just play the song. Okay. We did manage to get through it very narrowly, and honestly, the minstrels were probably critically important, not because of any direct offensive contribution, but because the enemies were so hyper-focused on them. The problem is now we have this group of troops to take on the footmen and militia that are actually in the settlement, which seems like a tall order to me. But I guess it's, you know, the game says fair. The game says maybe we can do it. Oh no, my farmhouse. Okay, I'm not allowed to just claim this. That makes sense. You gotta take the settlement first. As the Stoutheart troops approached Windshade, they could see armed militia and barricades. The residents of Windshade had been preparing for a fight. A grizzled old guard strode over and saluted. Despite his recent wounds, he proudly reported the status of the settlement. Lady Cecilia, you came! Wasn't sure we were going to hold against another attack. We haven't seen Fae in this number since my grandfather's day. Well, we came as soon as we could, veteran. You've done well here. We'll hunt down this storm spire and bring order back to Windshade. Oh, that's going to be mighty hard, m'lady. There's rumors from all over of skeletons, rats, and creatures we've never heard of attacking peaceful villages. Folk are afraid to venture out from these walls. Windshade will be our base of strength, and we'll soon bring order back to these lands. Fae and their foul beasts are no match for Stoutheart, which will stand, as you all know. Okay, so we didn't have to fight them. They just turned it over. Yo, thanks, friends. That's actually very helpful. Okay. So, rebuilding. We gotta rebuild and we gotta do it in a big fucking hurry. Upgrade this peasant hut. Critically important. Sappers, okay. We're also gonna need to build some things. Probably a grand armory, but that's probably not our first priority. Our first priority is gonna be a barracks. And then a castle right after. We don't have the technology that allows you to multi-build, so that's gonna have to do for right now. Okay. I would like to upgrade my existing troops, please. There we go. Yeah, tier 2 troops. Probably a good thing to have. Let's grab this road sign. I don't think we even really need the wood. This dead commander has a knife that I don't care for. We don't need the ancient amber. I would much rather have a level. We're not in a place to take advantage of 8 troops yet. 25% spell damage resistance. I mean, it's a lot of resistance, but also we haven't seen all that many offensive spells. Obviously, the opponent we're up against here has some. I kind of want to see like the higher tiers of our own spells, though, right? All right, it's gonna take him a while to. You know what? Y'all can go ahead and manage that one. There's really only one way that's going. Yeah, it's gonna take him a while to claim all of that. There's a bunch of returned dead sitting in front of my my gold mine. Not that it's like a terrible... Okay, a rumble of specters. You know what? We can leave them in place for the moment, I think. It's not a huge priority. We have plenty of gold. Okay. Big buff for the next battle. Sure, sure. So we definitely need to get a lumber mill. But unfortunately, lumber mills are a small slot, right? So we'd have to get rid of the peasant hut. Definitely also generate ranged units. Yeah, there's just like... There's not enough small slots in a lot of these buildings. I wonder if there's a lumber mill that would count up here somewhere. Definitely XP. So what are we looking at? Can we tell? We can. Pretty easy kills. Hopefully resources worth having beyond them. All right, we've lost track of what old Boney is doing. More money is certainly welcome. Yeah, I guess let's clear out some Fae. I'll do this manually, try to keep my minstrels alive, although I don't know why I didn't swap the positions of those troops. Because these guys are gonna die to that first shot, like trivially, right? Yeah, no problem at all. I might even have been able to get out of that without the 2 militia losses, or the 2 sapper losses, if I had used offensive magic a little more aggressively. Okay, this one we need to be a little bit more careful because the horned ones can be threatening for sure. Actually, never mind. Maybe everything's just fine. So you can get anywhere. I guess I had better quicken. I mean, I guess I can quicken both of them. It's not like it matters. And then we onslaught you and just go fuck them up. Turns out sappers are actually just fine at combat. They do an okay job. All right, what else is going on out here? Ooh, a cape of leaves. That seems important. 20 ranged resistance versus just defense. So, yeah, there's a lot of sources of defense. What I was looking for was, like, how does defense turn into damage reduction? Because I don't have any idea, like, what the value of resistance versus defense is. Like, where do those things equalize? In what situations is 1 point of one better than 1 point of the other? This isn't going to tell us about the stats, though. It's just going to tell us about the character sheets. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's not the kind of tutorial we need. I think in general we take a lot of damage from melee sources, and I would rather, I think, have 7 defense. As much as that Cape of Leaves does look very cool. You know, I won't argue with that. We certainly don't need the amber. Alright, Libra Weave is valuable for sure. So we definitely want a Grand Armory. This would require a functional quarry. I mean, in any case, as long as they're sitting here, they're accumulating troops, right? Even if we're not getting the highest level troops now, they're still accumulating troops, and as such, we can recruit and stuff, and then we can upgrade them once we have the upgraded troops available. So why don't you... Actually, I can just interact with this, right? Just go ahead and draft everything that you can draft. Do I want... Yeah, I think I do want all of the troop types in this army. So that's still probably a pretty unrealistic fight, as is the Skeleton Legionnaires. We can have you out here accumulating additional loot for the cause. That's probably worthwhile. Do I want to give you a little bit more time? In particular, I'd like to have more rangers than this, right? But you can go visit the sanctuary. You can go touch the statue. Yeah, stuff's worth doing. I absolutely will receive your knowledge. Income of taxes is not the way to go. I think combat training is the winner here for sure. Okay, another boar spear. It's like very whatever. Cecilia has done what needed to be done up here. So yeah, it feels like it would be a shame to get rid of the peasant hut. And I don't know if once we have a castle, does getting rid of a peasant hut remove your castle? Because it totally could, right? The one being dependent on the other. Hard to say. Step over to here. What is this? What does this look like relative to you? Still pretty scary, actually. Oh, God. So he does only have the one group of specters. It looks like the damage we did stuck around. Yeah, upgrading these guard towers, adding to the garrison and everything seems very worthwhile to me. I think what we probably ought to do here is hand over all of these troops. I will give you back a sapper, give me that knight, because we had to get one of these armies prepped, right? 15 ranged offense, I guess, is fine since you lost our gun. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably fine. Do we have spare gloves? I still have the merchant's gloves on. I guess we can give you the merchant's gloves. Not actually using them at the moment. And then we're a little short on helmets, unfortunately. But this'll do. Try to put Cecilia in position to actually win a battle. Actually, you know what though? Maybe I did that exactly backwards. Maybe what we want to do is here, leave this over here. All of those over there. Because this way we can have at what's his face and lose the battle and still come back. If we throw Cecilia at him, a death is a death, right? And mostly what I'm thinking here is we may need to challenge that army a few times to wear them down. Okay, so a guard tower detects them and defends against sieges with garrisons and ballistae. So can we see manage defense? Okay. We can throw troops in, but obviously, that would mean we can throw troops into the garrison, but that means not equipping them to the armies, which is a tough sell for me. So what do I want you to do? I just back up, I guess? Okay, maybe he's not coming over here. Alright, this is probably enough to take on... Wow, it just says fair. That's really rough. Okay, so the Grand Armory is up. We're going to need more Celestial Ore to pursue any of these upgrades, which is an annoying shame. Buying any of this stuff is just going to cut into our Celestial Ore, so that's... Yeah, I forgot how much ore it takes. Floating, ghost-like beings in tattered robes guarded the mines. With unexpected speed, they soared toward the Stoutheart troops, who held their ground bravely. You are not her. Which her are we talking about? Stormspire? Drat, they're attacking. When my life is in danger, the thing I always shout is, Drat. Well, we probably do want to remain pretty far back. Honestly, I'm going to take this. I would love to actually fight them from the Archer's high ground, but, like, they're not quite that fast. Let's see here. We can try to soften up. Who do we want to soften up? I guess the one that's going to move first. Just get him with the early damage. Yeah, and I do kind of want to just close ranks, I think. One to two is pretty sad. That's something. That's better, for sure. If I run all the way forward... I do get deadly range out of the deal. We can run the knights up and not get the job done and then have the knights be... Well, they're not going to be able to reach anybody. I think I might hold back. I think I might hold the knights in reserve for the moment. All right. So... I'm going to quicken you. I'm going to... How much damage do we think you're going to do? Not enough. So I guess let's throw some damage up. Well, actually... If I do an earth block like here, it actually bottlenecks their troops really effectively, right? We have considerable command over the terrain. Never mind, they took that down real fucking fast. You're reloading. If I kill this guy now, it just makes it easier for that guy to get in. I think I want to focus on this dude. And I think I will throw my stack of militia at him as well. I wish I could delay slightly, because what I'd really like to do is have the knight go after 9 takes his turn. I think as things stand, I'm just going to not do anything, because right now he can't do anything either. Alright, you should be able to finish this, I would think. Although it looks like we don't get it for free. 23 to 57. He has 35 health left, so it's fairly likely. But if I insect swarm him, it's guaranteed. Alright, and he rolled pretty high. He was going to get there anyway. That's a really annoying thing for you to do. Yeah, I guess I'll eat the attack. Wow, that was such a huge amount of damage. What the hell? I should have moved the horse into this space. That's an error on my part, instead of letting it wait where it was waiting, because we could have blocked access to the archers. Letting people get adjacent to your archers is actually very bad, it turns out. Ooh, wow, those are both really good. +1 range. I'm assuming it probably doesn't affect deadly range, but it'll still be meaningful on the militia for sure. +1 movement is relevant on everybody all the time, though. Yeah. I think those are both really great. Okay, feel pretty okay about that. Let's head back over here. We did unfortunately lose an awful lot of troops. And there's just kind of nothing to do with Cecilia. We need more troop income is what we need. Alright, so he's heading back toward his settlement, reclaiming new buildings as they come up. Or reclaiming buildings as he passes them. Which means he's not going to be over here for quite some time. We don't really want to grab the Legionnaires. I don't see a lot of value in that, so I guess with only 4 archers, your army is probably up to the task of like pressing out here and fighting random Fae and rats and whatnot. Probably. This gives you something to do where you can come in and draft the remainder of the of each turn's troops. All right, we're definitely making an offering. Many horned ones. We should be able to handle this. If we're smart and we use our ranged troops effectively, we might not even take all that much damage. Although I will say I'm a little surprised. I kind of thought it did not represent to me, in my opinion, these troops the way they are actually lined up here. I kind of thought it was going to be one big stack. I mean, let's see if we can cut down the little stack first, right? I'm going to use Insect Swarm, I think, to fuck up the initiative on the big stack. And then we're going to run forward. So from four archers, we are not expecting to get any damage, any kills at all. Where does it make more sense to throw this amount of damage? I guess down here, because we're going to have the militia also work on this guy. Yeah, I think I want to run all the way up. Get the deadly range, and then... Wow, I'll only get 1 or 2 kills? Plus 10 melee offense for each step taken. I really thought the knight was going to be able to charge here for a greater amount. Okay, well, if we're going to get 2 kills either way... So much berserking. Well, I think we got to just keep swinging here. If we insect swarm this guy again, well, it does stack the initiative drop. That's cool. Do I even want to attack, or do I guess so. The thing is, like, the attack loses me more bodies than it loses him. So I was definitely thinking about, like, what if we just What if we just stood here and offered the counterattack? I can run down there and kill him. I think I probably ought to, even with the initiative, or even with the attack of opportunity coming in. And now you have spent your attack of opportunity, probably. So I'm going to back the knight up. And then just like... I think probably just re-attack is a bad plan, right? Yeah, let's see what they do with that. Okay, interesting. I'm a little surprised that he is staying in melee with the... he's staying in combat with the militia instead of trying to rush the archer or anything. I think Mist is probably not going to do anything terribly valuable for us. Let's fuck up this guy's initiative. Shoot him. Yeah, I guess just the melee attack, because the counterattack's probably not going to be all that bad once we've done the damage. Riding in on somebody's going to get me killed. Yeah, Fury's probably a little bit irrelevant at this point. I'm not getting anywhere near the damage I would need for Fury to offer up the potential of a kill. I kind of think you just like stand there and try to be tough. We'll damage this guy. We'll buff you and do your best to live. He's more valuable holding that dude in place than he would be doing anything else. Okay. Also, the raw damage is really something. Just like pouring damage onto him is valuable. I'm not gonna attack. Pretty sure an attack would have been lethal. For me. All right, well, this opens up another little area of rewards. And it's a new level for Paradine, which is obviously valuable. We're already struggling to have enough troops. I'm gonna gain archery. Okay, moving the camera abbreviated that that loot pop-up. It's like the thing we need right here is celestial ore. I need to find a source of celestial ore, or we need to just like find a big pile of it somewhere. Ancient amber is the wrong thing, as always. Range resistance is okay, but I think we're gonna just take more archery. Okay, there's some celestial ore over there. I think, like, obviously you want to go for it, but my army is pretty shredded. We have definitely seen better days. That said, how much skill and success does it take to clear some rats, right? +3 defense. I suppose it's nice when the archer stack is large, right? Yeah, it's enough rats that it's a problem even for this number of troops. I suppose the thing to do is to turn around. I'll borrow some of these units. It does seem like the skeleton man is in no hurry, which is great news for us. Let's basically just like pass everything over. That's not what I wanted. All right, you get to have a full stack of something at least. This is a larger force than we had when we pressed out before, but I am wondering if it's maybe worth letting him fill up. Actually, at this point, more troops we have, the fewer casualties we're looking at. And once again, there's not a lot going on here except for the waiting, unfortunately. But I really, really want that tier 1 longbow research before gaining any other defense boosts. Adding 1 to deadly range feels so significant. Alright, so we're just going to hang out for a second. Couple more turns. See, that turn was longer, which makes me worried that the skeleton man is, in fact, perhaps still moving around down there. Alright, full-on archers. I do think we're gonna get absolutely full. Okay, he is still on the move. So wait, where was that? That's okay, that's over here. I have time for this. I think so. If there's one thing armies on roads are in this game, it is ridiculously fast. So fast that it almost seems like they're teleporting. Okay, and the beginning of an army is forming. All right, that's our last bit of vision in the area, which is definitely like a little worrying. Oh, didn't even want to fight me. Though they probably would have fought a smaller army, right? Still no survivors, still none of the stuff that we need. A Warhammer is just raw 11 offense. I definitely think I prefer that over the crossbow. And that is a two-hander. No, that's a one-handed weapon. Well, that being the case, we can also carry the falchion and just have 14 general offense, which is pretty fantastic. Okay, Celestial Ore. We're in a place to find some stuff. No, my movement. All right, it's fine. Skeleton Man is not at our border just yet. +3 is a rough number. Here marks the boundary of the Tenderwild, given to Aurelia's beloved Fae. Each of the barons signed the covenant agreeing to respect the boundary, providing an everlasting peace between human and Fae. And this is the part where I immediately disrespect that, because there's so much celestial ore over there. How could I not? Why would I honor treaties when I could just not honor treaties and thereby personally benefit? Look, we really are playing humans. These undead stood in closed ranks, waiting. They were clearly the remains of the old Aurelian Legion, brought back to march once more. Bound by oath, you know the deal. These are different. Let us pass. We seek no conflict. Nope. Okay. To Fae, to Stormspire, we will never serve your master. Then perish. Yeah, that's fair. I don't know what else he could possibly have thought would happen on that one. I mean, you know we want to have the arch. Something like this. So the Legionnaires are the tough ones. I do think it behooves us probably to just engage directly. Even though it's gonna be a little bit terrifying for our poor footmen. All right, we have proper deadly range. I mean, yeah, we just hit these ones, right? We absolutely hit these ones. You also get them. You also get them because I think that's actually like the numbers here work out really well for us. I'm going to send them to the end of the turn order as well. You definitely are going to need more defenses for the situation that I've put you in, and I apologize for that. Yeah, horses are doing well. So the militia aren't going to be able to get a turn in here. I suppose the best thing to do is to just finish off those militia. They have this this guarded trait, right? So breaking the middle one of their units is actually very important. Because it means all of a sudden nobody's benefiting from that anymore at all. This is 6 to 9. Yeah. And again, we'll just send you to the end of the initiative order for next turn. Never mind. Doesn't even matter. The damage is sufficient. Well, I don't know if I would have done that. Yeah. Get tough. Just run over here and absorb the retaliation. Again, turns out it didn't matter that much. That could have been a lot worse. That was really not that bad. I'm all like afraid of the Legionnaires now because of the damage that they have done to us in the past, but that was really pretty survivable. I don't think Woodcutter is very compelling, and Command I don't think we're really in range to really in a position to take much advantage of yet, so we'll do this. Let's fall back to the Shrine of Aurelia, get another buff for the next battle. What's going on with this cart? It has some money in it. This commander has a Morning Star that is not very compelling, and some money that's not very compelling. I guess I don't really want either of these things. What I want is better loot. Okay, so here at the armory, we for sure want to spend our celestial whatever on that. Is there anything else that feels as important? I guess we can get the same deal for the crossbows. What is like the offense bonus? It is just 10. Or 1 HP or 10 defense. Yeah, I would like to find another 5 celestial ore and hit this if we can. And did we do a draft this turn already? We did. Burning runestone. Okay, offense runestone, sure. A great axe. Okay, not very good in the face of our Warhammer. And of course it was 4 celestial ore, not 5. Well, let's hope there's some up here. Does look like we're reaching a pretty creepy area. In the middle of the 5 statues stood a small knoll. It looked as if something had stood there for a long time, but was recently removed. What sort of treasure would have deserved such an honor, out here deep in the Tenderwild? Look here, you can see how the trees and plants have changed, withered as if their very essence is gone. This could be the source of the corruption. But who did this? And more importantly, how can I reverse it and heal the land? Oh, Tutor is really interesting. That said, he is, I believe he is lower XP than Aurelia is, or Cecilia is right now. Raise their XP to this much of your wielder's own. So 25% of your wielder's own, which I don't actually know like how XP converts to levels. I'm assuming that each level requires more XP than the last probably. This is very common in these systems, but we don't know if we're talking about like a linear progression or I don't know. I don't really feel like I know what the value of Tutor is, but we might be in a position where it makes sense to take command here because I don't know that we need scouting either. It feels like we already have a lot of map view. Yeah, I think I'm going to take that. So we can get all of the various essences to flow through our army. That seems pretty good. And does having touched all the stones do anything about the... No, it doesn't, no. Well, shit. If I spend a turn parked here, maybe something will come to me. Wow, he made it all the way in here and was able to attack me without even having to get adjacent to me. I have to admit to a little bit of surprise on that, because, like, he should be allowed to attack that building he got next to. I should also be allowed not to defend that building. So here's the thing. This is we're dead, right? We'll go ahead and fight this army, but, fight this battle, but we're definitely dead. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to reload from the autosave of last turn after we die. And we will have, obviously, Cecilia retreat and meet up with Paradine, and we'll have to come at him together. My essence, no. Okay, makes that troop not generate any essence. That's pretty real. So this sucks. These guys are all guarded up, and I can't do meaningful damage to any of them. I mean, the good news is the militia are definitely fucking, or the minstrels are definitely still drawing their attention, which is funny. But yeah, I guess what I want to do is just like stand up here and prevent the enemies from moving in at all. I could stand here and make it so that they can only put one troop on me at a time. Yeah, it's pretty ugly though. That feels absolutely necessary. Try to draw the enemies away from all the rest of our troops. I mean, I think it behooves us to try to prevent the specters from having a turn, right? Just take one of their units off the table. That's the most important thing you can do. Receives for each step. So we have 5 movement. I mean, does this work this way? Is it best to step to here and then like make a... Huh. Apparently 2 plus 2 is 5. I was not aware of that. I have to admit to being caught a little off guard by that one. So yeah, we have 109 offense. It's just we can't build up to a high enough level to do any meaningful damage to these enemies. Yep, Archer's just straight dead. I feel like when somebody casts a spell, it should pause for a moment and just like let you read the spell. Okay, Burst of Strength is +1 damage. Play your loot. Play your loot. It's our only hope. Okay, that went exactly the way we thought it was going to go. If I'm honest, a little worse than I thought it was going to go. I thought we were going to kill more of them. Yep, and that's obviously going to fail the scenario. So we're going to load from the autosave. I don't know when it takes the autosave. Is the autosave taken at the beginning of the turn? That would, I think, make the most sense so that you have the opportunity to do things differently on your turn. All right, obviously we gotta grab all this stuff. That guy moved to here and got to attack me, which feels very silly. I'm gonna back up to the stone circle and get my combat buff. Is there anything else up here? No, everything else is still visited. And then we're gonna back out to there. And you have... Oh, you haven't done, yeah, this whole turn. Okay. This we need to get on real quick. Huh, actually, it seems like maybe that wasn't even that turn. Maybe it's only auto-saving every couple of turns. Oh, no, stop. I did not mean to do that. I hit tab to change armies while I had the wrong army selected. Yep, so he's just like, what could I do? How could I possibly fix this? And then he offers no answers. All right, so unfortunately, with the amount that I just accidentally moved Cecilia, I guess she's done gathering troops. Okay, he has more movement. He just didn't use it. This is a little awkward. If you have somebody near a settlement, you don't get to defend with the troops. You have to actually like dig them in. Yeah, this is futile. I wonder if... like, digging her in with the defenders definitely wouldn't have been enough to change the scale or change the face of that conflict, right? These troops are way too powerful. But it does seem like we actually have to kill him. Well, yeah, we could go talk to Roderick of Loth. Maybe that's the thing now. We took the opportunity to refill. We've got some troops between the two of us. We just merge up and we move south. Yeah, because I'm trying to think at which point do we actually defeat him, right? Or is there a point during this mission where we actually defeat him? If we had kept this big stack of troops over here alive and sent them off first, obviously just to die, but also to remove some of the hostiles, could we have whittled his army down enough to the point where Cecilia plus the defense crew from the towers could have actually finished him off? I think not. Let's keep moving. Let's just go talk to Roderick. But that sounds like a tomorrow kind of issue, because we are out of time for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm finding this really interesting, and I really appreciate the way that this mission is giving me a legitimate sense of panic and uncertainty. Like, how are we ever going to deal with this problem? Is good. Good mechanics and theme dovetailing together. Plus, you know, I just like a combat game. I like moving units around on hexes. You're always gonna make me happy with a hex grid. So come back next time, tomorrow, hopefully, maybe even sooner. You know what? We'll see. For the continuing flight of Cecilia and what's-his-face as we try to figure out what to do about this endless army of the damned. And we'll see you then.